Some say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own countries and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. You know, those sophisticated European countries, which make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury. Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little, very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have Hermes bag and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else like leathers, zippers, and hardware remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign of those luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world. Now you see, those bags are made in China by our intelligent and diligent Chinese artisans. Let's not be poisoned and misled by the market campaign any longer and be a real person. Buy a bag from our factory in China, see the real world for yourself.
Dang,
I'm finna get a bag from them right now.
Salesman. So how did this
bro?
We
it
been
was with
kind
the
of
thing
new
that
though.
passed though?
Tariffs.
Yeah, the tariffs.
They made it legally. They made it legal to counterfeit items. American
So they're
goods.
doing it, but now it's legal.
Yep.
I've been seeing a lot of people on TikTok. It's been pissing me off so bad. They said China playing chess and the U.S. playing checkers. And they're blaming Donald Trump for this being exposed. So are you people actually that dumb? If say the tariff did expose this, which it did.
They want to continue
Donald
to
Trump
be finesse.
now is helping you, isn't he? He's making you not spend your money on dumb things, right? People, bro, that was actually, when I was researching this, that was like the top comment on dumbass people. I'm sorry, mostly black women, most of the time, bro. They say, oh, this is Trump's fault.
Well, how's it his fault that you found out the news?
Yeah, he actually exposed
made
it.
it
He just helped you, right?
Yeah.
That's what people in this comment saying, this can't be real.
Like-
people were actually upset that people were saying
Like
that.
you can't shoot the messenger.
U.S. bullied the wrong country.
So
they're
they want
helping you, buddy.
Well, you could get a cheaper bag now. You could,
And wouldn't this be hurting the rich?
yeah.
The elites that
Exactly.
These corporations that's
Exactly.
and the
like
oligarchs.
wasn't Balenciaga, weren't they doing sex trafficking?
Some people say.
Hey, bro.
Wasn't confirmed, but
Y'all continue to pay overpriced for it. Now you can just go to Hong Kong.
I don't know if people really be trolling on the internet too bad or they really just have mental problems, bro.
no, yeah, that's actually like, you're actually dumb.
I will tell you 30 luxury brands. Some of their products are made in China. Ralph Lauren, Armani, Nike, Dior, Lululemon, Apple, Michael Kors, Coach, Calvin Klein, Prada, Balmain, Swarovski, Adidas, The North Face, Rimowa, Levi's, Burberry, Versace, Chanel, Cartier, Ferragamo, Timberland, Yves Saint Laurent, Victoria's Secret, Puma, Uniqlo, Disney, Max Mara, Givenchy. The producing cost is only 1/10 of its price. Can you believe it? Follow Helen, your business advisor in China.
Lulu,
Yeah, I didn't think they were made in China. This is crazy, guys.
Lululemon.
well, cause think about it. Have you ever met
C'est la guerre.
somebody? You know, this is. I just realized this.
C'est la guerre
It's
entre
some
la Ch-
anecdotal evidence. Have you ever met somebody who said, "I work at the Nike factory and I build the Nike shoes"?
Well,
Hell no.
well,
Probably be
in
talking
Memphis,
to a
they got
child.
they
They
got,
got
the
them little
factory
kids in them
No,
sweatshops.
but
They
have
don't
you
got the
ever-
sweatshop one.
Have y'all ever heard somebody here said they work at a factory where they build some type of clothes?
Oh hell no.
No one has met anyone who works at a place like that.
No.
Wouldn't that be like they need a lot of them to make all that? You know? Well, I guess they're saying they're doing it in Europe, so we knew it wasn't made in America, I guess.
You know for sure they ain't doing it in Europe.
But we knew Nike was made in China. But they telling them that it's made in Europe.
So what they're doing is they're making a whole thing in China and then they sending it a little piece to
Yeah.
Italy or
Don't
getting
go-
a little piece
Yeah.
from Italy and sent made in Italy.
They packaging it and putting their logo on it.
Yeah.
They've been
I
finessing,
don't even think
bro.
it's the logo. I think they just putting the tag on it and just say, here you go, made in Italy now.
No, they're saying it's actual.
That's what
like,
the bag.
part.
But
It's an
imagine all
actual
the
something.
other stuff they doing this with, you know?
It's something made in Italy on the bag though, for sure. They have to do that. But who knows? I mean, I don't know.
Louis Vuitton and Chanel will hate me if I tell you this, revealing the secret behind big brand. Let's go! Hang Long from Singapore, or Reshoring for their lambskin from France. Tannery Haas, Italian Tannery, Fight. Labri Tecna from Italy. Guess where I found all those secret suppliers? All in APIF Hong Kong. It's only the first day of this exhibition. There are still 2 more days to go. Don't miss this. Come over and check it out.
Dang.
Wow.
They exposing it bad.
Man, I feel like
Shout out Trump.
I feel like I need to take a trip to China and ship some stuff back, man.
Hey, nah, I got some like people that was over there like from being in the military. Like I had like an auntie and she came back with all type of Gucci and gave everybody a Gucci wallet. Yeah. After Gucci package, she said, "Yeah, I got it for 100." Damn.
And it was the same
Should've known it then. You know, I was like, nah, her shit fake. She gave me some bullshit.
Nah, she didn't for real.
Niggas is brainwashed. And they blaming Trump for this. Hey, almighty Trump, thank you for helping my brainwashed brain.
Yeah, you remember
now we know.
Remember when Aiden gave him a presidential watch and he looked at it, he was like, yay. Like,
it makes sense now. They got a video of him over there looking at it.
That was Steve will do with him.
They got a video of Trump in China looking at these factories.
Yeah, bro. This is
so he already know, you know.
We're in Shanghai, China. We're about to go check out the
bag going away. Imagine that's where they get all the bags from. They just steal them from people checking in.
I'm gonna be a booster.
Okay, literally all of this is all Chanel bags.
Chanel.
Got some little Hermes, some Birkins. There's an entire wall here of Picatinny.
Wow.
Better hope your girl wasn't on TikTok. You can go up.
They on TikTok.
She wasn't. But he's over now.
Go yard.
That is all Louis Vuitton. All of these aisles.
I know them brands so mad.
Oh, they're
How cute
pissed.
is that?
Oh, they hate Trump.
Nah, they should be mad at China. They
can't.
exposed it.
But it was illegal technically.
Because of Trump.
These are cute. Would I wear them?
When they got exposed, it wasn't for Trump.
She's
I
tired.
would have been crying.
because there's just so many brands. I'm starting to feel like.
Where is this at? What part of China? Hong Kong? Yeah,
They got jewelry too.
Bro, they doing it.
But they got smart they are, bro.
You didn't buy anything?
Yeah, I want the swag.
Damn.
Wow.
LV pair, LV trainers. I got all pairs.
This is so bad, bro. This is terrible.
They tricked people, man.
It was the brands, man. They did it. They brainwashed the people, man. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it's our fault, really. You know, we was supposed to know this. But I guess everybody don't know about the China plugs, though. Maybe not everybody. Not the average Joe knows.
Well, people know that Jordans was made very cheap, and they still gonna.
We
People
might
knew
know
about
this.
the Jordans.
Everybody know about the Jordans.
The people in our neighborhood, you know, some people probably don't know this. They don't know the plug. They probably didn't know that they're definitely making it cheaper. But like, how do you contact them on WhatsApp and all that? Like, you know, they don't know about that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you can say that.
You know, let's talk about the realities of what, you know, and this is the thing, you know, I've been reading a lot of this lately. Going back, in 1992, I voted for Ross Perot. You know why I voted for Ross Perot? For one reason, because he was the only candidate that talked about how devastating NAFTA would be to American jobs and to our manufacturing base. And he talked about that giant sucking sound. You know, I've read this book here in the last week, you know, Save your jobs, save our country. Why NAFTA must be stopped now. You know what's interesting? Since then, Ross Perot's become a prophet. Since NAFTA was inception in 1993, we've lost 90,000 manufacturing facilities in this country. Damn. Millions of jobs. And these weren't, you know, low-end jobs. These were jobs that paid decent wages, had good benefits, retirement security.
No, I agree with you.
They built communities.
But here's my thing.
But here's the deal.
NAFTA was 30 years ago. The situation that we are dealing with right now, and I agree with you. I'm on the side of the folks that said they did the American workers wrong. Absolutely.
On,
but right now, we are dealing with a situation where it's not these are blanket tariffs. We are dealing with a situation where manufacturing is not going to come back in 2 weeks. So I am really struggling to understand how UAW has aligned itself with Trump on this.
Well, and I think more specifically, Mr. Fain, just real quick on that point, how do tariffs create jobs?
So first off, NAFTA is still causing us to lose jobs in this country.
That's true.
Our broken trade system is still causing us to lose jobs in this country. And no one from either party has been willing to even address the issue for 30 plus years. That's the first thing. And we support tariffs as a tool in the toolbox, not the end-all be-all. We got to fix the broken trade system. But tariffs are a motivator to make these companies do the right thing.
Really out of time, but a very quick question. How concerned are you about what's happening to the U.S. dollar? We have seen the dollar at having its worst week in 3 years. There are concerns about a weakening dollar because of all this uncertainty. How concerned are you about that?
I am not concerned about it. We are focused on our tariff policy. We are focused. We have so many countries coming in to negotiate with us. The president has given us the ability, let's go get these great deals done. And we're on it, and the president's on it, and we're really, really focused on delivering the best thing for the American people.
That the United States will dip into a recession because of President Trump's tariffs?
I think that right now we are at a decision-making point and very close to a recession. And I'm worried about something worse than a recession if this isn't handled well. A recession is 2 negative quarters of GDP, and whether it goes slightly there, we always have those things. We have something that's much more profound. We have a breaking down of the monetary order. We are going to change the monetary order because we cannot spend the amounts of money, so we have that problem. And when we talk about the dollar and we talk about tariffs, we have that. We are having profound changes in our domestic order, how ruling is existing, and we're having profound changes in the world order. Such times are very much like the 1930s. I've studied history, and this repeats over and over again. So if you take tariffs, if you take debt, if you take the rising power challenging the existing power, if you take those factors and look at the factors, those changes in the orders, the systems, are very, very disruptive. How that's handled could produce something that is much worse than a recession, or it could be handled well.
What's very different
the system's restarting
is
pretty much.
Normally when stocks go down as much as they have, there's a flight to quality, and quality becomes defined as U.S. Treasuries and the U.S. dollar. In this particular downdraft in the market,
that's a problem.
We're seeing Treasury yields go up and the dollar weaken. That's kind of an alarming trend. To me, that's flashing yellow that something is going on here more than just deleveraging.
You know, this is actually bad. This is showing that we're getting into a recession, actually, because that's the lending money. If that can keep going up,
Treasury was the rates, right?
Yeah,
right.
The mortgage,
Yeah,
car
so
loan,
the rates are increasing, which is bad. But, we haven't got to an agreement yet with all these countries with the tariffs. They're just still in place somewhat. So, obviously, there's still some uncertainty, which is probably why the market still hasn't fully stabilized and got back to where it was, because we did see it go up that day and then went right back down the next day.
Not bad. It didn't go down bad. It's kind of like stable right now, though.
It's been going up, though.
Some of my stocks are still in the red.
Yeah, but it's like it's not going down like you like 20.
Oh, yeah.
30.
That's true. That's true.
It's just
That's
going
true.
down maybe 2, and then
That's
they go
true.
back up 3, and then they go down 1. They're just doing. It's pretty stable right now. But I just think that all the politics, like we seen the video of Nancy and them talking about, we knew we had to do this. So we knew that it's gonna be a push and a pull thing. Like it's just gonna be back and forth. So I think we know it had to happen. If something does happen where we're just in a downside, I think that we're gonna eventually shake back. I don't think we're gonna just fully go into a recession though. I don't think that's ever gonna happen. But it's possible with something crazy happen like this. But I don't think that's gonna happen, bro. They're gonna stop that before that happens. There's no way the United States is going back into a recession, bro.
I think that they have a plan.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen
things
at all.
kind of play out.
The Chinese people are kind of like panicking a little bit. They're like, okay,
because it's gonna hurt their economy.
yo, guys, y'all need to just buy from us. Y'all need to buy from us. You know. So if they're panicking, they definitely need us as much as we need them. But they might need us more than we need them. But people feel like everything made in China, but we're buying everything.
Yeah.
So the buyer
is the most important person.
Exactly.
You just holding on a lot of shit.
You know, so them exposing all the brands and stuff, they're just saying fuck them. You know, basically, and they're saying y'all need to buy from us because this is the real shit. You know, but that was pretty crazy. They're panicking definitely. So I think something's gonna happen with China.
Have y'all seen the video when the crates haven't left China? Like they got like crates on top of crates on top of crates sitting in China that haven't left no ports.
A business owner running an automotive parts processing factory in Guangdong expresses helplessness in a video.
Once
the tariffs went up, the factory turned into a retirement home. This time last year, the machines were deafening. Now, not even rats come around. 2 million yuan worth of goods are stacked up like mountains, and no one wants them, not even for free. The workers sit outside in the sun all day, and I'm paying their basic wages out of my own pocket. The bank is hounding me every day over the loan. If this keeps up for another 3 months, these machines will be worth nothing but scrap. The Americans raised tariffs without a second thought, but it's killing those of us in real industry. Does anyone have a way to clear out this inventory? I'll take scrap prices if I have to. A clothing factory owner is clearing out inventory due to excess stock.
Are those the gas station shirts?
Does anyone want these white pants? If you don't mind, you can just take them.
It is.
It's such a shame to throw away tens of thousands of them. The US is hitting us with heavy tariffs, and these goods are affected. Physical stores are closing down. All the big brands are shipping their genuine products with labels. There's only 3 days left, so I'm clearing everything out at a discount. If you've never bought before, now's the time to try a few.
The US-China trade war has dealt a devastating blow to industries that depend on exports to the United States, especially in sectors such as textiles, apparel, electronics, and automotive products. Factories that previously manufactured goods for American brands have been hit hardest, with widespread order cancellations and even finished products left without buyers. Many factories have been forced to halt production or attempt to reduce inventory through domestic sales, but weak consumer demand at home has limited the impact, resulting in heavy losses. Today is April 10th. U.S. tariffs have surged to a staggering 145%. Many friends running OEM factories for American brands told me all their U.S. orders were canceled. Even completed goods are being rejected, and shipments that already reached the port are being pulled back. Some shameless clients are even demanding their deposits back. When disaster hits, it's always the factories left holding the bag.
Damn. I mean, no, we knew it was gonna affect a few U.S.
gonna hurt
companies.
the whole economy.
You know, we knew that. That's why, the people saying they might affect the GDP. But at the end of the day, if we get the tariffs right and everything get even, I feel like everything gonna flourish.
It's a long-term plan.
47%. That's a 3-point drop since President Trump announced his global tariff plan as part of what he called Liberation Day. That's a drop, but it is still a better approval rating than he ever saw in his first term. We'll have more on that in just a few minutes. The president hiked tariffs on imports from China to 145% last week, and Beijing responded with a 125% tariff on American goods sold in China. Late Friday, President Trump changed course again, lifting some of those duties off of Chinese-made tech products, including smartphones, chips, and computers. Speaking with reporters last night, the president said more details would be revealed Monday. For more, we go to United States Trade Representative Ambassador Jamieson Greer. Good morning to you, Mr. Ambassador.
Good morning, Margaret. How are you?
I'm well. I'm hoping you can give us some news of movement on this clash. Is the Trump administration opening any kind of channel to Beijing right now? Are there any plans for Presidents Trump and Xi to speak?
Right now, we don't have any plans on that.
This issue is truly at the leaders' level. Before April 2nd, I had a conversation with my counterpart, and others did. Since April 2nd, we have this at the leaders' level, and at some point, as President Trump has pointed out, we expect that we'll be able to have a conversation with them.
Well, China holds about $1.5 trillion in assets in this country. About half of them are U.S. treasuries. In the past, you've spoken about strategic decoupling from China and acknowledged it would cause some short-term pain. Are you trying to get China to sell some of those assets? Is that part of your goal as well?
That's not part of this plan. President Trump has a global program to try to reshore American manufacturing and address the trade deficit. It's a global issue. The only reason we're really in this position right now is because China chose to retaliate. So many other countries affirmatively said they did not want to retaliate. We want to negotiate with the Americans, and the Chinese made a different decision. So it's not a plan to do that. It was a Chinese decision. They have agency here.
But are you prepared for China to consider selling assets it holds in the United States? And do you want that to happen?
Well, remember, China's been selling off treasuries for some time. It's not a brand new development. The treasuries market will fluctuate. I'm not the Treasury Secretary, so I'm not the best poised to talk about that. But I think the issue is we've become so dependent on China, and for so many decades we haven't had fair market access. So again, we see China taking action, implementing their policy to try to be less tied up with us as well. So it's not surprising to see them making these kinds of moves. We obviously have to be prepared on our part to have a resilient economy.
So last Friday, late in the day, the administration published some exceptions to the tariffs on countries, including China, with smartphones, computers, electronics, and machines that make semiconductor computer chips. Last Sunday on this program, the Commerce Secretary told us the tariffs are part of a strategy to bring high-tech factories to the U.S. Take a listen.
The army of millions and millions of human beings screwing in little screws to make iPhones, that kind of thing is going to come to America. It's going to be automated, and great Americans, the trade craft of America, is going to fix them, is going to work on them. Our high school educated Americans, the core to our workforce, is going to have the greatest resurgence of jobs in the history of America to work on these high-tech factories.
But now those high-tech items are given these exceptions. So is the goal still to move electronics manufacturing to the United States?
We can bring them too.
We certainly need to have semiconductors and the downstream electronics supply chain move to the United States. What happened is, it's not really an exception, that's not even the right word for it. What happened is this type of supply chain moved from the tariff regime for the global tariff, the reciprocal tariff, and it moved to the national security tariff regime, where we have studies ongoing for pharmaceuticals, for semiconductors, metals, et cetera. So it's not that they won't be subject to tariffs geared at reshoring, they'll just be under a different regime. It's shifting from one bucket of tariffs to a different bucket of potential tariffs.
But those tariffs aren't in place.
That's right.
So they are exempt
that is subject to study by the Commerce Department. For now, they're subject to a 20% tariff. They're subject to a 20% tariff that's on China.
Who's making the pills, bro?
The Commerce Secretary was on another network this morning, and he said semiconductors
China
are, quote,
and India
exempt from reciprocal tariffs.
That's
But that won't be a permanent sort of exemption. Here's what you told my colleague Nicole Killian April 8th.
Why aren't there any exemptions with some of these tariffs, sir?
The president decided that we're not going to have exemptions. We can't have a Swiss cheese solution to this universal problem.
He's a chill dude.
So I hear you saying the carve-outs are temporary, but isn't that still the Swiss cheese situation you said you were trying to avoid?
I would just disagree with that, Margaret. We have two different tariff programs. You have the global reciprocal tariff getting at the trade deficit, and you have critical sector national security tariffs, where we have tariffs in place on autos, steel, and aluminum, and we have them coming on semiconductors in the supply chain, pharmaceuticals, lumber, copper, et cetera. They're just different approaches to do it. We have to be much more deliberate about the semiconductor supply chain, because we don't even import semiconductors as such that much, right? They go into downstream products. So we have to be very careful. We want the whole supply chain here, not just one product.
So the president said on Monday he'd be much more specific. Will we see those sectoral tariffs announced? I mean, he's saying he's already putting big tariffs on pharma. You're telling me that there's going to be an investigation into it. That's something that sounds like it's far in the future. What time frame are we talking about?
Well, for the national security tariffs, you have to do an investigation in order to impose the tariffs. That's just legal process. That's how we do it. That's how it was done for steel and aluminum, autos, etc.
Right, but you've decided the outcome.
Investigations for those. No, we have not. We have not. That's why they're exempt. That's why they're they don't have a tariff covered right now, because you have to go through the investigation to determine the outcome.
Okay.
We expect there will have to be some kind of tariff on that, but we have to go through the investigation, figure out what's appropriate, and that's a Commerce Department function to do that.
Damn. Nah, bro. I'm not going to say we bring the Chinese factories over here and let the Chinese come over here because the American people could have them jobs. But do us as American people really want Americans in them jobs?
I mean, I just think if to entice Americans to have these jobs and fill these industries, you have to pay them.
I feel like the high tech jobs they'll be something more.
For sure, because they'll pay.
Yeah.
All the money we've been spending in tariffs, they could just use that money to pay them.
Yeah.
So we can get that's more American jobs. So, we can do it like that. But we got to, I guess different manufacturers will have different requirements. Because, like, I'm going to be real, we don't want, I'm not going to say America's not smart enough, but the Chinese doing their things on iPhones, y'all. We might need to let them keep doing their thing on them. So if you're a Chinese
they invented
person.
the iPhone here.
It was made in America.
But now they're getting made in China. The Chinese dealing with them.
Because they make them for cheaper.
Yeah, they source it cheaper.
So we gonna have
we know how to make it.
Billy down the street handle it and make he gonna
But they're gonna have instructions to do it. Then you gonna train. Come on, bro, you acting like man.
Bro, I'm just saying. I mean, we gonna have to go to school. I mean, I don't know.
They're gonna do training for them, bro.
With any job, you're gonna get trained on how to do the job.
And you're gonna have one section. You're just gonna do this one thing. Add this one piece. Add this one piece. Then you add this one piece. Then you add this other piece. Then you add this other piece. Then you screw on this piece.
And then you watch them all and make sure it's being done.
Okay, then we gonna
so
make
we
sure.
fully capable in the United States to do that.
I just think it's cheaper to source that labor and do
Niggas
that
make
job
boats.
in China.
Yeah, because they don't have to pay children.
Yeah, it's way cheaper. So that's why they do it. It's a profit margin thing.
It was all that was invented here. The iPhone.
I know, but we ain't making them in mass. We're not making them
because
in
it's
mass.
cheaper there.
Right.
That's why. That's why everything. That's why everything is made in China because it's cheaper.
Cheaper and they Chinese.
It's for the money. I think it's for.
I think it's just the cheaper.
I think it's due to the fact that it's cheaper.
We're gonna take glory in the iPhone factory. We're gonna go in there and bake the iPhone.
All right.
I'll make the iPhone.
As long as they train them and taught them what to do, it'll be all right.
Nigga, I could build a house, nigga.
I'm just saying,
try to play with me.
I'm just saying,
I could take a pipe out the ground and put a new one in there.
That's different than making the chips for the iPhone.
Bro, they come with instructions. Somebody already did it, so they're just copying the instructions.
It's following.
They literally are getting trained. It's not like they're just somehow smarter than us. They're just getting trained. And it's cheaper to source it there.
It was invented here.
Yeah, come on now.
I'm not gonna adopt the American people. I'm just saying, are we ready for that? Like, cause they gonna bring all them jobs.
It's gonna bring jobs. Yeah,
people. It's gonna be a lot of jobs.
Everybody complaining how there's no jobs. Well, there's
gonna be some jobs. Yeah,
Chinese they in there from 7 flat to 11 p.m.
And they're not paying them. They got kids.
They're not getting paid. They're getting paid in freaking grains.
So that basically,
we out here crying about that.
Trump is helping to stop that with these tariffs.
I bet they don't even got a time period that they gotta work. Hey, brother, you ain't getting paid. And you come here 7 a.m. to 12, you gonna leave out of here at 12. We out here crying about 9 to 5 out here.
Because they're not making enough money to live.
About is there's not enough jobs though. You can't find a job.
But we gonna see what happens. I'm just saying though, they might be a little bit more hard working like the Hispanic than us.
All right.
Be real. I'm not gonna say that. Hey man, hey. That's all I'm saying. That's definitely gonna be a problem a little bit.
I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Well, then,
they made Teslas here. They made a lot of high engineered stuff that have been made here in America, bro. Come on now.
But it's gonna be way more. It's gonna be way more. It's gonna be a lot.
Cause like in Tennessee, they make tires from nothing. They make a lot of stuff. That's pretty. They make a lot of stuff. A lot of people are making a lot of stuff here already, bro.
I'm saying, well, we shouldn't get them the card to come over here and make it over here, but I guess that wouldn't apply us to jobs. I guess that wouldn't help us with jobs. I guess that just kills the jobs and I guess the tariffs. Hey, maybe we could just kill the tariffs and bring the Asians over here and just, I don't know.
Kill it. What you talking about? Kill the what? You talking about the border?
I'm saying
clear the tariffs and let them over.
No,
how that makes sense?
I'm saying Don't worry about the tariffs. Just bring the Asian people over here and build the factories and let them come over here and make it for us over here.
Why would they do that, bro?
You could have just got rid of
this. We can do that with. I don't understand why you sourcing the people is gonna make it better.
You might as well get rid of the border. That's damn near doing with the border shit. You
Facts.
feel like that way?
You're literally advocating for more immigration to fill jobs. That's literally what we've been arguing about on here for months, and now you're advocating for it.
And then you say get rid of the tariffs on top of
That's
just
what I'm
telling
saying.
me to
Like,
come
he's
over
advocating
here.
for everything we've been fighting for. You sound like a liberal. Just gotta keep it 100.
I'm just saying that if we bring them here, we won't have to pay, and we won't be in $1 trillion of deficit.
What you
with
mean?
The tariffs.
We would still have to pay them if we bring them here. They have to live and survive.
They gonna live off their job.
Okay.
But then if you live in America, you got to pay them as if they're American.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm so confused on what point you're trying to make.
He sound like the argument.
He sounds like Jasmine Crockett.
All right,
Who gonna pick the cotton?
We out of here.
Actually.
I guess, guys. Let's know what y'all think.